Blaring Out show.
Hey, Rob.
Hey.
This is the DVD that's coming out November 15th.
Oh,
if you wanna
cool.
mention that.
Awesome. Rob, it's been a while, my friend. Do you know the
Yes.
last time I saw you, I was dating a girl, and I dated her for 7 years, and now she's gone out of my life.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
What can I
It
say?
was not too long after I did that interview with you, Rob.
Yes. But life goes on.
It does. This is the Blaring Out with Eric Blair show, and I'm here with the metal gods, Rob Halford and Glenn Tipton of Judas Priest.
That's who we are. How
Yes.
you doing? Good to see you
Right
all.
on.
Good to see you.
All right, let's now very quickly tell me how the reunion happened.
In a nutshell, we were all over at my house in the kitchen in England talking about the box set, the first ever box set from Judas Priest, Mythology, which is this great collection of all of the highlights of Priest's career, about 80-something tracks. It's an absolutely incredible box set, very metal, black leather with studs all around it. And we were there meeting for the first time together as a band, just talking about the box set. And then the last order of the day, which was completely unplanned, was, well, what are we going to do about this reunion? You know, the vibe was there. It's something we'd all kind of obviously been thinking about and wanting for so long. And like we've said a lot of times since this question's been asked, in very typically British underplayed, you know, well, do you want to get back together? Well, yeah, I will if you will. Well, come on, let's do it then. And so it was. Within minutes of asking that question, everybody had said yes. Everybody got in their cars. I was sat in the kitchen with a cup of tea thinking, oh my God, we've reunited. You know, we're all back together again. The world has no clue what's just happened. And that's what it was. And it was such big news. It was on CNN headline news.
Yeah,
like
I saw
24
it.
hours later. Went round the world, and it was just the greatest feeling to be reunited. And the fans were going ballistic, and that's how it all took place.
Which was the first song you actually got together and like created after the reunion?
That's a good question. I can't remember. Was it Loch Ness?
No, I'm not sure. Good question. An unanswerable question, and that's good in my book.
Okay.
That's good in
All
my
right.
book.
Okay, so what inspired the title of Angel of Retribution?
We thought it just sounded good. And he did got like connections to Sad Wings of Destiny, the
Yeah.
angel there that looked a bit despondent,
Yeah.
that ended up in hell, had risen back, and he'd come to get you if you didn't like metal or Judas Priest, you know.
Now I noticed that the breastplate on this creature looks like hardcore stereo speakers. Am I right?
Well, that's how it can be interpreted. Yeah, the guy that did that for us was the same guy that did the Painkiller release. And we had the idea, like everything that you see on a Priest cover, it starts with the band concept and idea. And as Glenn said, the idea was to take the angel from Sad Wings of Destiny, propel it forward to 2005 and see how we could put it into this, you know, modern world. So we talked with Mark, the art guy, and slowly over a period of months we came together with the final piece. But it's a wonderful package, if you want to call it that, because you've got this incredible looking creature on the front, this angel of retribution, which, as Glenn says, is this very powerful, forceful kind of metal figure. Retribution is a great word. It means, you know, kicking some ass and coming back strong and everything else. Not that was, well, it's revenge. Yeah, we've got a lot of revenge in us. But it just fell into place from the initial idea to the final appearance on the cover. We were just stoked to see it working and looking so good.
Now, what do you think that your time apart taught you about each other and also did for the resurrection of Judas Priest?
For me, the time apart was, it made me just appreciate really what a special band I'm in. I've said it many times, there's a lot of great musicians out there, but they don't happen to be lucky enough to be in a band that's got a chemistry or a formula as we've got right from the writing process through to performing on stage as 5 people. So I think, you know, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and it's also We've got renewed energy, so much energy and enthusiasm now. And I think really it's debatable whether we would have still been together if we hadn't have had that time apart, you know. It gave everybody a chance to let off steam and do their own things and explore their own musical outlets. And at the same time, when we got back together, it's a force to be reckoned with that we all appreciate more. I certainly do.
The elation of your acceptance at Ozfest.
Well, that was just really terrific. I mean, it was a bit of a strange thing for us because we were working in the studio making Angel of Retribution, and then as soon as the word got out that we were reunited, everybody wanted to see the band. Nobody would wait, you know. I was like, we want to see the band, we want to see Priest. So we literally had to down tools and do all the big summer festivals in Europe, all the big metal festivals, headline all of those, and then of course we were invited to take part in that very, very special Ozfest. It was unique. There'll never be another Ozfest like it because you had the originators of metal, Sabbath and Priest. You had all those other great bands on the main stage, be it Dimmy Borgir or Slayer, our all-time favourite band. Phil's band, you know,
Super Joint Ritual.
and then on the second stage, all these other cool bands like Hatebreed and Lacuna Coil and Slipknot. You know, all these guys would come and hang out and, you know, watch our show and stuff. And
hail you guys.
It was a blast. It was just such an exciting Ozfest to be a part of. So we took.
You guys kicked ass.
We always do. Yeah. But it was especially thrilling to come back to America reunited for that special moment. You know, we had a blast. It was incredible.
Great. Now tell me, now Don Airey gets a special thanks on this record. Now he played with Rainbow and with Ozzy. Tell me how he fits in.
We've known Don for years, and he came in and he did some bits and pieces on Loch Ness and a couple of other tracks. I can't remember which tracks, but he just puts a bit of embroidery on there, you know. And he's an amazing guy. I mean, you can ask him to play anything, and he'll play it not only exactly right, but in the way and sound just like it. He just is unbelievable character, really.
Now, what inspired the song Demonizer?
Who knows? I can't really say.
What you see, all the stuff on Angel of Retribution is great moments for Priest. It was not a premeditated record. None of our records are. When Glenn and KK and myself sit down to write, we got the blinkers off. We can do anything. If you know the history of the Priest, this band has just gone through all of the metal possibilities. And after 3 months of writing, we had all this material. We just had to make sense of it, and we agreed that because this was the reunion and it was a part of this big 30-something year anniversary, let's be who we are. So your Demonizers, your Hell Riders, your Judas Rising, that's Priest, that's Free Will Burning, that's Painkiller, that's all of the fast speed metal that we do, and then the other mid-tempo stuff, the beautiful Ballad Angel. This is our territory. Priest created that metal landscape. So, you know, we decided that these 10 tracks would be the ones that we wanted to offer the fans, and it's been a worldwide smash for us. You know, we had top 10 chart positions all over the planet, and you know, the fans embraced it, particularly here in America. That's been the backbone of Priest for so many years.
It's an incredible album, Rob.
It's been great, you know, and the party's still going on, definitely.
But I have a question to ask you guys. If the man with the power can't keep it under control, some heads are gonna roll. Now, what?
We saw him the other day, actually.
Bob Halligan,
he came to a show on the East Coast. He wrote "Take These Chains Off" and "Some Heads Are Gonna Roll," and he's just a great writer.
You know how great that is, cranking that in the car when you're aggravated.
Yeah, you know, that's what Priest does.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like a lot of metal bands. I mean, we're a very cathartic band to listen to. You know, in your car, at home, wherever. We're an outlet for all of that aggression and pent-up feeling, and especially at a show. I mean, these shows here in America, worldwide, they've just been like, you know, it's like being nuclear fallout every night. The fans just go ballistic, and that's part of the energy and the history and tradition of Judas Priest.
Now, the new Judas Priest album, Angel Retribution, is on the dual disc format. How is that working for Judas Priest?
It's good, and it's a great bonus for the kids out there and the fans. You know, it's an extra thing, and it's a visual. You know, you've got audio and visual, and I think it's the first time it was done in one way or another. And we welcome it because it just gives the whole new dimension on the band.
Now, how do you feel this tour differs from the Painkiller tour? Because that's the last time you guys were hitting the road.
It's the same. It's the same vibe. Nothing's changed in this band one speck. I mean, all of the great ingredients of Judas Priest have been there since we got together in the mid-70s, you know. And we've had this wonderful metal journey of over 3 decades. And, you know, when you start off with the initial concept of believing in yourself, having a unique sound, doing something different. And that doesn't really change. You carry that idea with you every step of the way. So, I mean, we've all commented many times that it seems inconceivable that we were away out of each other's musical company for 10 years. Because really, you know, music isn't related to time. It's just there. And especially the great things about Judas Priest. So, you know, we continue. Priest roars on.
How long is your set now?
2 hours.
2 hours? Man.
2 hours of intense metal, yeah. And this is a great set list because we carry you from Sad Wings of Destiny all the way up to Angel of Retribution. And we just pick on the highlights, and it's difficult, you know, because after so many records and hundreds of songs that we recorded, when we sit down to make a set list, we've probably got about 30 songs each we want to play. But this, again, is part of the celebration. You know, it's the highlights of Priest, it's Electric Eye, it's Victim of Changes, Metal Gods. It's all the great moments that you know and love from Priest. And when we come back again next time, it'll be a whole different bunch of songs we'll play.
Now, tell me about this, what is it, a live DVD documentary you guys have coming out?
Yes, November the 15th, I think, is the release date. We went to Japan. When we knew we were going to Japan, we were really stoked because we made Unleashed in the East there, which is one of the all-time great classic heavy metal live recordings. So we thought about, well, let's try and do something special again. And we hadn't fully made a DVD through the touring that we'd done worldwide to that point. So we said to our people, come on, let's get a DVD crew in, get them in for 2 shows at the Budokan, which is like the world famous Madison Square Gardens in Tokyo. And they filmed the 2 shows, and because we were busy working on the road, so it was all basically put together for us and sent out to us. And when we saw it, we said, we've got to let this out, we've got to share this moment. It's the reunion of the band on stage. It's a little bit of a different set list to what we've been doing elsewhere in the world. It's Japan. The essence of the Japanese fans are the same worldwide, but it kind of ties in to Unleashed in the East, and it's just a real kick, you know. It's something that every Judas Priest fan, I'm sure, will have in their collection. Yeah, we want to point that out, that it's all straight from the stage, you know. There's a temptation to go in the studio and fix things afterwards, and this is completely unadulterated. Wow.
It's the second show. We filmed 2 nights, but in the end we just used the 1 show. We wanted it to just be for everybody to be there, and it's in surround sound as well.
Whoa.
So it's just like you there, and that's what we wanted.
Now the
Tom Allen was on the mixing as well.
Yeah,
Tom, the famous Tom Allen, he did a great job. So it was just great having all these friends back together as well.
Now I noticed that you guys worked with Roy Z as a co-producer on this album, Angel of Retribution. Now, what did he bring to the table?
A lot of beer. No, he's a good lad, Roy is. We met with him Rob had worked with him before, and obviously, you know, Rob said, well, you should meet him and talk to him, and which we did, and we immediately liked him, you know, and he's a great guy to work with, and we had several meetings to make sure he worked in the same way that we did, and he did exactly the same, you know. It's casual, and and he was great. He was fantastic, really.
Yeah, Rob, you said he's a very creative guy.
Well, first and foremost, he's a 100% Judas Priest fan. He was born and raised on Priest, so this was a dream come true for him. So he knew he had a lot on his shoulders, so to speak. But as Glenn said, we co-produce all of our recordings. We need a guy to keep us focused and to keep us in control. But Roy is a great producer. He's also a very talented guitar player. He's a great vocal coach for me. He's one of the best producers I've worked with besides Tom Allen for vocal coaching, which I desperately need because at this point in my life, I want to get in, do my work, and get out, you know.
He doesn't need coaching, really.
Yeah, I know.
But he's great. He gets things out of me, you know. And when I'm doing my sessions, there's always Roy, and there's always Glenn, and there's always Ken. We're always pushing each other. We're always getting the most out of each other. We don't accept anything than 1,000%.
Pushing means that's crap. That he's play that again.
Yeah, that was rubbish.
Pushing.
Do it again. So Roy did a terrific job, and everybody was really happy with the final outcome.
Now, a question on a lot of people's minds is, how are you guys, with your grueling schedule, able to go up there and kick ass for 2 hours straight and then be able to do it every night?
Our genuine love for Priest music and heavy metal that drives us on. You know, even if we absolutely, you know, run down and tired or whatever, we've been traveling for a year and a half. When we set foot on that stage, we genuinely love Priest music and we genuinely love heavy metal, and that's, you know, that's what drives us on. And it's I mean, we're finally tuned now. We're well oiled. You know, we've been out there for a long time, which does keep you fit. It's a little bit of a struggle when we first start. You know, you have to put your head down for a bit and get a few breaths, and then look back at the audience. But after we've been on the road for a few weeks, your stamina builds up. But it's our enthusiasm, you know, and energy and love of Priest and music and heavy metal.
Tell me, Rob, Desert Plains, I got to ask you about this song. What inspired that? Were you in love with somebody at that time that you ran across the desert to see? Or?
We get inspiration for lots of lyrics. I mean, you know, that's my main job, to come up with the ideas for the lyrical content. But everybody steps up and says, have you try this idea, try that idea. But I spent a lot of time in Phoenix, although I'm still a UK resident. It's a beautiful part of America. It's a very special place. It's kind of weird when you're flying into Phoenix because it's all barren desert, and there's this beautiful oasis that's there, and it's just a great inspiration, you know. And so I'm always looking for different possibilities, and that's what Desert Plains is about. And there's a little bit of a kick in from Desert Plains into Worth Fighting For, because we use the desert imagery in Worth Fighting For. It's just a great set of possibilities when you think about the desert.
Riding on the Wind, that is the most out there, awesome, kick-ass solo I've ever heard in my life, and nothing can ever compare to it. How did that come about?
Well, it's just a trade-off lead break between myself and KK, you know, and we go in the studio and we sort of got a sixth sense now. We've worked so long together. We don't say, oh, you take that solo and I'll take this. And then every now and again a song will come up which is ideal for trade-offs, and Ken will play a section and I try and better it, and he'll try and better what I've done, and vice versa. You know, it's healthy competition in that sense, and that's the way we've always been.
Did you guys really miss each other? Did you really think, God, I've really missed this guy? I mean, there's one thing, when you're in a band with somebody, you connect with them, you look over, you see that person, you have a moment with that person.
I was waiting for that moment to walk out on stage like we did in Hanover, Germany, I don't know how long ago, you know, and we're fired up, we're roaring, we're playing Priest, and I look over there and there's KK and there's Glenn and there's Ian and there's Scott, and it feels right, it feels correct. It's definitely a musical family, you know. When you've been in each other's lives for over 3 decades, you can't help but get incredibly close. So we've been through a lot of things together, musically and non-musically, that's made this relationship extra special. And it's probably more special now than it ever was before.
Now, I want to get this from both of you guys. What is your favorite part or your favorite thing about Angel of Retribution? What do you just love about it?
Me, I love the last track, Loch Ness. I think that's going to be proclaimed a classic metal masterpiece in time. It was a bit of a controversial track when people first grabbed a hold of it, because instinctively people went 13 minutes, we could have had 3 more songs, which is typical, but that's our fans are as emotional about Priest as we are ourselves in the band about making the music. But I just love that song, and I think, you know, who else but Judas Priest could get by doing a song about the Loch Ness Monster and stand up and it be legitimate and good. But it's a wonderful song, production wise. It's just mind blowing to listen to, on headphones especially.
Glenn, you?
I just like the whole thing. It's a perfect blend of old and new. We've got, you know, there's some modern metal in there, but it really is a trip back into some of the classic, nostalgic moments of Priest, but they're brand new songs, and that's what we did. We knew there's a lot of pressure on ourselves, and there's a lot of expectation and over-expectation. Even if you do something really good, can seem not that good. And what we said, well, okay, we're just going to enjoy this and naturally write. And that's what we did. We sat down every day. We didn't know what we were going to come up with. We came up with something, and as soon as the room lit up, we were off and running, and then we'd start again on something else. And that's the way we've always worked.
Now, what's next for Judas Priest?
We've got some more shows to do before the end of the year. We're going to Russia for the very first time ever. and the fans over there are just going insane. They can't believe that Priest is finally coming to Russia. And then we're going to take a Christmas break, and potentially we're going to do all the summer metal festivals in Europe next year, but around that we'll be writing and recording the next Priest release. Sweet. So, you know, we're just doing what we've been doing for the last 30 odd years, basically, which is touring and making records. It's what we love to do, and there's more of it to come.
With that, Rob.
Thank you, buddy.
Glenn,
Thanks very
great
much.
having you on the Blaring Out with Eric Blair show. All right, this is the Blaring Out with Eric Blair show. It's
metal.
Rob Halford and Glenn Tipton.
Keep the faith.
Signing off. Bye-bye.
The Blaring Out Show.